While foraging for food in the forest, an unemployed saboteur, Toru Akira, encounters Chaika Trabant, a young white-haired wizard who is carrying a coffin. Their encounter is interrupted by the appearance of a man-eating unicorn. As Toru and Chaika flee, they come up with a plan. Toru will delay the beast to allow Chaika the time she needs to cast her spell, using her magic Gondo sniper rifle. As gratitude, Chaika buys Toru a meal only for Toru's sister, Akari, to show up and accuse him of slacking off. Meanwhile, Ali Barrick Gillette and his men from the Gillette Corps meet with Roberto Abarth, a war hero who fought against the Gaz Empire 5 years previously, and asks Abarth for the item he acquired from the war, but they are refused. Meanwhile, Chaika hires the Akira siblings to steal an item from Abarth's mansion. That night, Toru, Akari, and Chaika sneak into Abarth's mansion, but encounter Abarth himself, who mistakes them for thieves hired by Ali Barrick to steal his item. As he's about to use his magic to eliminate them, Abarth is shocked when he recognizes Chaika. Abarth is shocked to see Chaika as he believed her to be dead. After escaping him, Chaika explains that Abarth's mansion is his Gondo, which allows him to manipulate any object within the mansion, and the only way to stop it is to destroy its magic source. Toru distracts Abarth as Chaika and Akari search for the source. Eventually, they find the item that Chaika is looking for, a severed left hand in a glass jar. As they leave the mansion, the trio are attacked by the Gillette Corps, who demand that they hand over Chaika and the magical hand. Akari drags Chaika to safety while Toru, carrying the glass jar, leads the corpse in a chase around the city before fighting one of their members, Nicole Atota. Toru is soon cornered by Ali Barrick, Viviholo Painen, and the corpse magic vehicle. Ali Barrick reveals to him that Chaika is actually Chaika Gaz, the daughter of the dreaded emperor, Arthur Gaz of the Gaz Empire, whose death at the hands of the 8 heroes ended the war. Ali Barrick and his organization fear that if knowledge of Chaika's existence were to spread, Gaz loyalists would attempt to reform the Gaz Empire with her as a figurehead, which would reignite the war. The Emperor's remains are also powerful sources of magic power. Toru is unmoved by these arguments, and Chaika uses her magic to allow him to escape. Once they are safe, she reveals that she is gathering her father's remains so he can be given a proper burial. Toru and Akari decide to help Chaika in her quest, for which she is thankful. The trio search for another of the 8 heroes who has a part of Arthur's remains in the town of Ipsum. Unfortunately, Chaika's coffin is drawing unwanted attention, so Toru wraps it in a cloth. Meanwhile, the Gillette Corps receives word from their superiors, the post-war Kaliman agency, that reinforcements are unavailable. As they have lunch, Chaika and the others learn that the ruler of Ipsum, Dominica Shakota, a Doragon cavalier and one of the 8 heroes, lives nearby in a dangerous forest. The Gillette Corps arrive in town and are hot on the trail of Toru, Akari, and Chaika, when Guy, a young man who appears as a hologram and is Chaika's informant, informs them of where Dominica lives and where they could find an abandoned magical vehicle as transport. Having fixed up one of the abandoned vehicles, Chaika reveals that she was out of the country when her father was killed and doesn't have memories of the war. The trio is soon attacked by Ortherus, but is saved by a female knight. The female knight introduces herself as Dominica Shakota and allows the trio to stay in her mansion. Toru suggests that they ask Dominica to hand over Arthur's remains peacefully before using force if that fails. But Chaika is reluctant since Dominica saved their lives and has been kind to them. The next day, Toru asks Dominica for Arthur's remains. To their surprise, she agrees to hand them over if they can defeat her. As they prepare, the group realizes that there is something strange about Dominica since she didn't recognize Chaika, despite being one of the 8 heroes. During their match, Toru and Akari fight Dominica in their Iron Blood transformation forms, but are unable to overcome her. However, Toru realizes that the Dominica they are fighting is not human, but rather her Dorogun taking her master's form, and forces the Dorogun to reveal its true form. Using their skills together, Toru, Akari, and Chaika are able to defeat the Dorogun. The Dorogun then reveals that Dominica died shortly after the war ended, but due to their close bond, she was able to forget her master. As promised, the Dorogun gives them author's eyes and decides to follow Toru, Akari, and Chaika on their journey in the form of a young girl by the name of Fehederica. Heading to the town of Paramero, Toru, Akari, and Chaika are ambushed by a red armored sword fighter and her two companions. Toru captures the warrior and is in shock to discover that she looks like Chaika but with shorter hair. Chaika Trabant is taken captive by Red Chaika's companions, and both groups are forced to flee when the Gillette Corps arrives. After bribing her with food, Red Chaika reveals her name to be Chaika Bahadan, and also claims to be Emperor Arthur's daughter. She also wants to gather her father's remains, but unlike their Chaika, Red Chaika wants to use the power of their father's remains to take revenge against the 8 heroes and the subjects who abandoned their father during the war. Meanwhile, Red Chaika's companions reveal to Chaika that there are other girls named Chaika who are also claiming to be Emperor Arthur's daughter. Elsewhere, the wizard Mateus Calloway and Catboy Leonardo Stola try to track Toru and Akari, but instead find Red Chaika's companions. Eventually, the two groups agreed to a prisoner exchange, and the two Chaikas met each other face to face. Cockatrices controlled by Mateus attack the prisoner exchange, forcing David and Salma Kenworth to escape with Chaika, while Toru, Akari, and Red Chaika fight. Returning to their vehicle with Red Chaika, where Fehederica is waiting for them, Toru and Akari plan their next meeting. Meanwhile, the Gillette Corps are ordered by the Council of 6 Nations to deal with farm riots, much to Gillette's frustration. As Toru and Fehederica wait for Akari to return from arranging the next exchange, Red Chaika asks Toru why is he helping White Chaika, and offers him a place in her group. Both groups met in Paramiro where they exchange hostages, and Toru declines Red Chaika's offer. As they leave town, Chaika wonders if she really is Chaika Gaz, but Toru doesn't care, as what matters is that she's real. Red Chaika and David reappear, and suggest that they join forces so that they can find Arthur's remains quicker. But when Red Chaika reveals there can only be one Chaika Gaz, implying that she wants to kill White Chaika, Toru and Akari fight, forcing them to flee. As they continue, Toru is concerned that they will now have to deal with both the Gillette Corps and the other Chaikas as well. Guy informs Toru and his group that the hero, Simon Skenia, was last seen at the Valley of No Return 4 years previously. However, before they can move on the information, they are ambushed by the Gillette Corps and escape using Fehederica Daragun form. Arriving at the valley, they notice it is filled with magic fog. When Chaika starts climbing down the valley wall, the others follow. Unexpectedly, the rock gives way beneath them and they fall into the fog. Akari, Chaika, and Fehederica, safe in a protective barrier, watch as Toru reacts to an illusion. Fehederica was only able to find and catch Chaika and Akari in the fog, thus leaving Toru to suffer from the magic. They wait, and eventually Toru stumbles into their barrier, freeing him from the influence of the magic. Reunited, the group makes their way along the valley floor, where they find and destroy the machine that is creating the magic fog. With the fog cleared, the group finds Simon, now mad and delusional. Simon reveals that he created the fog machine to force people encountering the fog to experience the betrayal he felt when his wife and best friend betrayed him. After getting Arthur's leg from the machine, the group leaves Simon in peace. The head of the Kaliman agency, Conrad Stemetsu, asks Aliberic to take a break from searching for Chaika Trabant. Aliberic decides to research the Emperor Arthur, but the lack of reliable evidence has increased his suspicions about his mission. Elsewhere, Toru and his companions encounter a group who calls themselves the Neo-Gaz Empire, who aim to bring back the Gaz Empire under a blonde-haired girl whom they call Princess Chaika. While Chaika befriends the princess, Toru, Akari, and Fehederica have suspicions about the group. That night, the princess goes out to rob a nearby mansion, but is caught in an ambush. Toru's suspicions are confirmed when they are attacked by Neo-Gaz men. Toru and the girls easily overpower the group, who admit that they are actually former Gaz Empire citizens who turned to thievery after being abandoned by the Six Nations. While Toru wants to leave, Chaika begs him to save the fake Princess Chaika, whose real name is Julia. Toru and comrades rescue Julia, for which she and her companions are grateful. Toru is disappointed that even though they were citizens of Gaz, these people know next to nothing about their emperor. Meanwhile, the Council of Six Nations decides to deal with a rebellion by Duke Giliar Gaviarni, who controls a floating fortress. Running low on magic fuel for their magic vehicle, Toru's group try to resupply, but find that the local shops have run out due to the people celebrating the anniversary of the end of the war against the Gaz Empire. Despite Chaika offering to use her memories as a substitute magic fuel, Toru refuses after learning Chaika loses her memories after using them. Meanwhile, the Gillette Corps celebrate the anniversary in their own way before being summoned for an emergency mission. While Toru's group searches for any shop still selling magic fuel, Toru tells Chaika about his childhood. Toru reveals he and Akari grew up in a village called Akira, where the people trained to become saboteurs. Despite his eagerness to join the Gaz Empire War, his mentor Shin tells Toru he is reckless. Toru also tells of Jasmine, a woman who was part of a convoy of traveling merchants who traded with the Akira villagers, whom Toru regarded as a big sister figure. However, one night, the convoy was attacked by bandits who killed the merchants. Despite his efforts, Toru was only able to find a dying Jasmine, who comforted the boy in her last moments. Even though the villagers killed the bandits responsible, Jasmine's death deeply affected Toru and shaped the man he is now. He tells Chaika to never forget her memories, both good and bad. Finally, they find a shop that still has magic fuel to sell. Toru and Chaika learn from the shopkeeper that Duke Gavarni of Iveco has acquired one of Arthur's remains from one of the 8 heroes and decides to head there. Arriving at Iveco, Toru realizes that something is strange about town. There are no young girls. There is also an uprising lack of magic fuel, given that this region is famous for its mines of magic fuel. They learn from a shopkeeper that Duke Gavarni has been using all of the town's magic fuel to power the floating fortress Sora, and that his soldiers are kidnapping the town's girls and taking them to his fortress where they are never seen again. Toru's group sneaks into Sora by having Akari disguise herself as a girl from town. She is taken aboard the Sora and helps Toru, Chaika, and Frederica get in, unaware that Vivi and Zita have sneaked in as well. Meanwhile, the council decides to take action against Duke Gavarni by lunging their own floating fortress, Stratus. Conrad warns Aliberic to get Vivi and Zita out before the council forces destroy the Sora. Toru's group tries to find the Sora's magic engine, only to be ambushed by the Duke's soldiers. Toru and Chaika escape, Frederica is impaled and Akari is captured. Akari is brought before the wizard, Grand Lancia, and Ricardo, the Duke's youngest son, who reveals that he killed his father and family himself. Grad uses a mind control spell on Akari to force her to find and fight the others. Toru and Chaika encounter a girl named Layla, who's asked for their help in rescuing the women captured by the Duke's men, but leads them into a trap. She kidnaps Chaika while Toru faces off against a mind-controlled Akari. Vivi and Zita rescue Toru, and the 3 of them agree to work together to find the others and escape the Sora. Elsewhere, Layla leads Chaika to a room where she reveals that she knows who Chaika is. As they search the fortress, Toru, Vivi, and Zita learn the horrible truth of what happened to the girls captured by the Duke's men. They were all tortured by Ricardo to sate his sadistic tendencies, and Grad is using their painful memories as magic fuel for the Sora. Meanwhile, Layla reveals that she too is a Chaika, Blue Chaika, and tells Chaika Trabant the terrible truth that neither she or any of the other Chaikas are the real Chaika Gaz. The Chaikas were created and implanted with false memories of being Arthur's daughter. Each girl was given a different personality and skills, and above all, the overriding need to gather Arthur's remains. Chaika refuses to believe Layla, who then says that after she learned the truth, she chose to follow her own path and has aided Ricardo in restarting a war to avenge herself against those who would have used her. Frederica arrives to rescue Chaika, only to be killed by one of Grad's abominations. Elsewhere, Ali Beric tries to convince the captain of the Council forces to delay his attack so that his comrades can escape, but when he refuses to do so, Ali Beric threatens his life. Cornered by mind control Akari and the Duke's men, Vivi and Zita try to hold them off while Toru goes to rescue Chaika. The commander of the Stratus is unfazed by Ali Beric's pleas for time and orders the Stratus to fire on the Sora. As the Sora and Stratus fire at each other, Zita is able to free Akari from Grad's mind control. The continued battle between the Sky Fortresses has severely damaged the Stratus and caused the Sora's Canyon to misfire. With Ali Beric and the unfortunate ground forces of the Alliance caught in the misaimed blast, the only trace of Ali Beric that Leonardo is able to find is his sword. Despite the revelations of her true origins, Chaika resolves to continue her quest to gather Arthur's remains. Unable to aim Sora Canyon, Layla suggests to Ricardo that they crash the Sora into Cadwell, the capital of the Emet Kingdom. This plan is thwarted by the Stratus, which rams the Sora, sending both of the fortresses into the lake below. On their way to rejoin Toru, Akari, Vivi, and Zita, discover that Frederica, having created a second body, is still alive. They split up to search, and Akari heads to the bridge where she kills Grad, ending his control of his minions. Chaika, wandering the fortress in search of her companions, stumbles upon Layla and Ricardo, and is about to suffer the same fate as the girls from the town when an injured Toru rescues Chaika, and they flee after retrieving Arthur's left leg. Layla, angered that Chaika has decided to continue her quest despite learning the truth, shoots Toru with a crossbow. She is about to shoot Chaika, but is distracted by Guy, allowing Chaika to shoot her with her Gondo sniper rifle. Chaika rescues Toru from drowning, and with the help of Frederica in her Daragoon form, she, Toru, Akari, Vivi, and Zita escape the Sora before it sinks to the bottom. Layla, seriously injured, makes her way to a dying Ricardo so that they can die together. On rejoining their companions, Vivi and Zita learn of Ali Beric's death. Vivi screams in grief and her hair and eyes turn white and purple, respectively. Back at their vehicle, Chaika reveals her true origins to Toru, Akari, and Frederica, as well as her determination to continue her quest. The others agree to help her, and they drive off to their next destination. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to let us know by leaving a like, subscribe for more stories, and check out other stories here. If you'd like to hear more of my voice varieties, visit Voices of Lady Theta on YouTube.